from a lot of services in a lot of places, all telling us it's not their job. I got to call someone else. Who tells me I got to call someone else? Who tells me I got to call someone else? I'm gonna go see if Cheryl's up yet. I need help. There's a time limit on all of this. And nobody gets that. It ends up like this. Every time. No matter what. And I get told like I chose it. And when you explain that the people who offered to help you, they can't even help themselves because they're alcoholics and they get stuck in that one-track frame of mind. Or they're on methamphetamines and they're just pushing for an early grave. That's not help. Meanwhile, I gotta take the abuse because when I go in alone, I'm blown off. I'm treated like it's my fault, like I chose it. Police make excuses for my predators instead of finding out what's actually going on. They make gross inferences of the completely wrong sort. And it gets people killed and none of you care. None of you care because we don't matter. We don't matter because we're out here. You pretend that we're all drug addicts, that we're all alcoholics, that we're all child molesters, that we're all rapists. You pretend that we're all murderers, that we're all psychopaths, that we're all thieves. You spend literally billions of dollars every year to incarcerate us or to otherwise prevent us from turning in our predators because we must deserve it. We get treated like junkies at the hospitals, at the police station, anywhere we go. When our friends who got addicted to fucking drugs, and they had families because they were strung out on drugs, and they had sex with somebody who was strung out on drugs, and neither one of them used protection. And now these people have families, and they want to tell me how I need to feel bad for them because they got families. Meanwhile, they're still on the meth. They're still on the alcohol. And many of them, because of those drugs and alcohol, they abused their brains to the point that they thought it was okay in some of these situations to even rape their own daughters, or to sell their daughters to pay off their drug debts, or to have their daughters sell drugs. No matter what, nobody would look at the evidence. Nobody. Each and every one of these people, they want to give suggestions and get fucked up. I need actual help. I need to be able to actually protect myself and defend myself against drug addicts and fucking crazy nut jobs like Molly. How much help these alcoholics usually end up being, or these drug addicts? Let's take a look at Brett Roloff. All of his empty promises. You know, he could have come forward about what he knew about that trip in 2016, about my intentions. He could have come forward at any point in time. He could have kept his word to come forward at any point in time instead of me to post it on the internet. Instead of getting fucked up on meth every day. And I'm expected to understand after all of the harm that he caused. I'm expected to understand and to feel bad for him and to feel sorry for him because his intentions were good. But he doesn't stop for one moment to think about how much harm that caused to me. Mandy Singer, she didn't stop for one moment to try to understand or comprehend what was going on. She was so fucking strung out on fucking drugs, and she admits it. That's what makes Mandy Singer such a wonderful excuse for a human being, despite her faults, despite all of her fuck-ups. She admitted that the reason she didn't come forward when it made a difference, the reason that she allowed that narrative to go, the reason that she allowed me to be harmed for years and years without saying a goddamn word about it, was that she was strung out on fucking drugs. We get to see the situations with Region 2 where I went to them repeatedly and they fucking procrastinated. They always do. You get to see how I'm treated when I have to go in alone, how I'm blown off, how things that are obviously criminal, if they can arrest me and lock me up just on an accusation with zero fucking evidence, then it's not civil, it is criminal. The problem is being homeless and having to go to the police alone, or people pretending that I can just ignore this abuse, that I can just ignore it, just ignore it, just ignore it, just ignore it. Fuck you. You're promoting it. You are prompting it to be done by giving me empty words and empty promises, telling me that you want to help me but never speaking out, saying you'll look at evidence and you will speak out, but I send you the evidence and you nothing. You allow it to happen. You allow that evidence to be destroyed because of your own selfishness. Candace Bondurant pretending like I'm selfish because I continued to speak out, despite the fact that she said she wasn't able to help me because of why? Because she was threatened, harassed, and intimidated by law enforcement and her landlord, in addition to being threatened on the internet by these fucking nut jobs. How about Cara Rogers, aka Cara Mia? How about Layla Johnson? These are two complete and total fucking nut jobs I had to deal with. You can hear in Dan Faber, him and I's conversation, of course he's angry, I recorded that. What a coward he is. What a piece of shit he is. What empty goddamn promises he made. And you get to see how after that, with the conversations between myself, Megan Missigatis, and of course, himself, and Marcia Estrada. Oh, they won't answer my questions. There's a reason for that. Marcia Estrada was smart enough to stop messaging back. Megan Missigatis was incredibly stupid. And of course, there's Dan Favorite. He's angry. You goddamn right he's angry. The truth is out there. Come out of his very own goddamn mouth. He was aware of the situation with Layla Johnson, and he didn't fucking speak up. He let it happen. This is one of many, many people who are gaslighting me or attempting to catfish me. The problem with trying to catfish me is that I'm not interested in vagina. I'm not interested in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I'm interested in getting help stopping this abuse. The shit that I'm dealing with here and the shit that I had to deal with in Hood River, same shit that I had to deal with over Natalie Bollinger before she fucking died. But there's also the addition of people making fake accounts to harass me over and over and over again. And when I try to ask people to stop, I'm accused of stalking them, while I'm told that I have to jump through a bunch of hoops that I've already jumped through alone. Every once in a while I get an alcoholic to say that they'll help me, and then I end up babysitting them for a week, hoping they'll eventually be sober enough during the day to help me out. And I don't hate them. I hate what I have to go through because they don't stop to understand how much it is hurting others around them. It's not just alcoholics. Brett Roloff was on methamphetamines. Teresa Orrin was on alcohol. Andrew Whittier was on methamphetamines. All these people by their own admission. Kayla Trujillo, that's one of the Miss Peaches. The other one is Mariah Roy. The one I usually speak of is not Mariah Roy, it's Kayla Trujillo. She was afraid to come forward because she was dependent upon the drug trade to make enough money to make ends meet. Of course, Danica Garner, by her own admission, addict. Rose M. Kelly, by her daughter's own words, addict. Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner, both by their own admission. I want you to think about that, as well as Rose M. Kelly. These are the three main women in Natalie Bollinger's life. These people abused the shit out of me. And when I spoke up about it, they used that as an excuse to harm me further. And I gotta go to Alcoholics for help. And even if they and their families say that they'll help me, I have to understand that at the end of the day, taking care of the alcoholic or the meth addict is the priority. That's the real family. I'm trapped here because I don't have help, because my own family doesn't care. They never did. I grew up in the system because they, as well, chose drugs and alcohol over their own family. You think my dad wants to admit publicly that he went to prison for 38 counts of cocaine possession with intent to sell? It's a good thing I recorded conversations with my Aunt Mary that show that I told the truth about that. If you won't fucking admit it, I'll go to the witnesses and I will fucking record their words. God damn you, this is not okay. You tell me about your God. You tell me about your Jesus. You tell me about your Muhammad. I don't want your pretty words. I want your help. I don't need unsolicited advice. I need help. Who do I go to for help? I tell them there's evidence. I try to show them evidence. I try to show them evidence in person. They refuse to look at it. If I send it across the internet, they claim they can't see it. And with no civilian oversight, they just pretend that I'm schizophrenic and I have to show any evidence in court. I've already tried speaking to the police about the situations with me being abused here, me being abused in Hood River, me being abused in the Dalles, threatened, harassed, and intimidated in all those places. We're completely blown off. I am worried about the barista girl because I haven't seen her. And that guy yesterday is a very screwed up individual. Yeah, human lives are at stake here. This young woman who could be human trafficked in Texas. And I'm busy trying to take care of an alcoholic. If it's not an alcoholic, it's somebody else who's on meth or on heroin or a complete and total control freak. And all these people, all of them prey on those of us who are the easiest to take it out on. A lot of people don't see what they're doing is wrong, and that's just insane to me. It doesn't give me hope. What it does is make me want to end my own existence. People keep telling me, even Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner were telling me, don't kill yourself, Sean. Your voice could save a lot of lives, not if it's not heard. Not if you help these nut jobs threaten, harass, and intimidate, or sell false narratives when they get busted lying. What Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner did, along with Kara Johnson Miles, is felonious. The number of people who helped them to do those things to me and assisted them in getting away with it, including law enforcement, including my own friends and family, simply by not giving a shit, by not caring, by refusing to look at any of what I'm going through, telling me over and over what to do with no fucking clue what's going on because they won't shut the fuck up. A lot of alcoholics and a lot of meth addicts have offered to help. But how are they going to help if they can't shut up about their conspiracy theories? Or stop giving drunken or meth-induced advice, bad advice. Meanwhile, it's any excuse not to get involved, even though you're already involved. Any excuse for a mandated reporter not to look at the evidence, to blow me off. That's how males are treated. Even at the Seventh-day Adventist. They help me with a lot of other stuff, though. Thing about trying to record all the time is you get the situations, you get to see why I record. A lot of these places, I only record audio in on my clandestine audio recording device. Problem is, it takes a lot of processing and editing and time in order to download it on the internet for you to hear. And in order to have that access to do such a thing, it takes money, it takes resources, and it takes assistance. That's a church where they have the KKK following. And we get that guy screaming. You guys think you gotta be scared? You can go in your house, lock the door, and call the cops. if I call the cops, I'm a narc or a rat. If I don't call the cops, I get told it's my fault. Not that it matters. If I call the cops, they don't listen. They don't do anything about it. If they do show up, they still don't do anything about it. I got out because I could hear the yelling. This is seriously my life, folks. Like I said, these folks ain't bad people. Most of these folks don't do this stuff because they're mean-hearted. They do it because they're addicted. Finally, oh my God, I got like 3 hours of sleep.
It's worse. It's been his legs are getting worse. So I have to get work. We need a place to live. He said he needs a caregiver.
He certainly does.
I know, he's a handful. Nobody's helped me, believe me. So it's like he's.
I'm not trying to be rude by saying this, but you're old.
Oh, I know. I have good health.
You do seem to. Well, I had about 10% of his body weight yesterday, so you did most of the picking up.
Oh, I know. I had to. I mean, you know, he can run over. He doesn't care. His two friends do.
He's a really nice guy. I mean, even when he's drinking, he's really
when
nice.
When he gets beyond that, he's a man.
Yeah.
And I have to get away. That's why I think I just 24/7 of that. It's hard.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, because he's getting worse, and he's scared, and he won't go to the doctor.
With head trauma getting worse too. I mean, with him falling over like that as often as he did, plus like half the block is covered in piss.
No, well, here, mine's water.
I know yours is water, right? I noticed that. But that's pee, that's pee. On the other side's pee. Hello.
Hi there.
What?
Because I told him his legs are worse when he fell and he worked. It was alcohol poisoning. And then he hit his head. He was dead for 4 minutes. She keep going?
I don't know. It looks like she's gonna slow down.
Down the block?
Halfway through the block.
Oh, well, she's...
Maybe I should close my door.
Yeah,
I started the recording last night as soon as it... Because, alright, he came over to my window and he knocked on it. I was half asleep, but not quite there. And he knocked on my door, so I had to wipe the sleep out and get myself conscious because he needed some attention. And so when I was finally ready, I looked out and, like, you know, with you standing there and he was laying down on the ground, I figured I needed to start recording it because, I mean, that's an unsafe situation. And then I passed out with it still recording, so I got like 3 hours of sleep last night, and the only reason I know I got that is because he woke me up again, and I looked at the clock, I looked at the recording, I'm like, oh shit, I slept through something. I couldn't even remember what I was recording at that point in time. It took me a few seconds to recognize it. So I shut off my recording, and then as soon as I started making a recording about drugs and alcohol and cruelty and kindness, you know, that's when he came over and started having another conversation with me. And
see, he just needs somebody there all the time. And I just can't. I feel what I cannot be up all day. I cannot. And he just, this morning he was mad. He's here at 8:30. Oh, no sleep. You know.
It's tough to get anything done. I can't function.
Oh, I can't either. It's your work.
About 3 hours is a decent amount of sleep for me. I really need more, but I just don't get it. I have to look over my shoulders. I have to be afraid to go to sleep. If it's not some homeless druggie beating on my window because he wants to threaten to kill me, it's somebody beating on my window because they're drunk and want attention, or it's an officer beating on my window to tell me I can't be there, or some crazy lunatic is making false
See,
accusations.
this is pretty good because people can bark. We have. She knows us. We were here last year, and now they know him. I mean, because he starts. He's had a lot to drink, and he gets crazy. Because if he changes beer, somebody gives him liquor and beer, and he starts yelling. Because it's too loud.
Well, see, I
He
have.
didn't do that last night, but he
was close.
well,
Well, maybe not comparatively. You've probably
some
seen
other
more than I
time, but he
have.
still was up too long. His head hurt. He took aspirin. Yes, he doesn't like you, but his head is changing. He's different after that fall. Because his legs are just.
Well, for me,
ALS.
I get overwhelmed, and then like that obviously overwhelms me by quite a bit, and then I can't function. It takes me 24 hours to 48 hours to recover from the stuff that I got to deal with over from that meth addict over there at the skate park who came to the feed last night.
He usually stays up there, at the church, but they probably asked him to leave because he's had lots of incidents. Cops have called. He yelled Robin, he yelled Lewis. He came and Lewis helped him charge the off. We just don't help him. But he did give Lewis some calls, which were too big, but he gave it to somebody else. And I mean, he's he yelled at me. I'm over
All I can hear is truck.
I was washing some clothes out. He even had his lights. He was flicking his lights at me, and then he walked over and said, "You look suspicious." I said, "I'm just washing some clothes." What are you supposed to do? I mean, I had an accident, and I had to clean it. Oh, then in here, and Lewis, if you live in his house, I have cleaned it. He hasn't done anything, and I can't get him to do anything. But he has gone. He just gets so short with the dog, and I know
Well, my car is tiny, and I live in that. I clean it as best I can, given my disabilities and lack of a place to do it.
It's the head. He is depressed and suicidal, and he says he wants to die. I hear it every day.
Well, I want to die too, but I try to fight back and try to get help.
He does. He tells me. I don't know how to handle it.
Nearly everybody who offered to help me, they were, people who had good intentions like Lewis. But like Lewis, there's the addictions and how it gets in the way. Now he's not mean like a lot of them have been to me, but that doesn't mean he can't.
He takes it, and nobody sees it. And he's mean to his dog sometimes. But the other night, he got scared because the dog almost got loose and he would have hurt her. And he was going to get his dog away. And I said, you just have to watch. You have to keep him right with you. I don't think he's not going to be able to work. He can't be on his feet.
I love dogs, but I'm more of a cat person. Yeah, kids and dogs love me because they're stupid. I don't know why cats like me, but it also depends on the cat. Some cats will leer you of everyone.
People threw away cats up there at Port Angeles. Have you been there?
Yeah.
You been up the spit?
No.
Okay, well, it's the mill. You go through Port Angeles, and you can go to the truck lot and go around the little cove. The mill's here, and then you go out the spit, and there's an inlet in there, but it's ocean. And the cruise ships come in there, and then the Coast Guard's at the end. Okay, along that spit is the ocean, and there's huge rocks. People threw away all these cats, so they multiply. And I'd say there's probably 100. But they breed, but the people up there, they go and trap them and fix what they can and adopt them. And some of them don't adjust, so they put them back and say they know the people have been going to feed them for years. And these cats all came from them. They were all babies. So they never lived in the rocks. But they're real quiet because they they learned to be quiet because people that they dogs chase them and people were mean. But these were all kittens. I love them to death. But and this other cat, one saved me from a fire at midnight. We were attacked by a dog. Midnight. We did. At the park. The person got kicked out because she didn't have him on a leash in my car. At that time, the ones I had a leash. But that car was stolen. Those cats were stolen.
I gotta try to get some help turning this in. I'm not sure what you're even able to do today. I understand being tired and everything else, so
what I can do. I'm going to
not
talk to the
much.
pastor. I'm going to go to care, try to get that thing going for his. He is disabled. He has no income.
I'm disabled and I had an income, but it was taken away because I didn't have assistance. I still don't have assistance.
No assistance? You get food stamps?
No, they took it all away because I didn't have help keeping it. I didn't have an address to send it to, nothing. And I'm constantly being sent around from one issue of being victimized to another. That guy yesterday, that's not the first person even in this town to do that stuff. Molly's been stalking me for a month.
Molly?
Another lady. I have her on my YouTube channel too.
Lady? No. I can't understand it because, well, you haven't seen him mad. But if somebody does that to us, he's not himself. He's not feeling good at all.
Well, he was trying to tell me he'd give me guns last night, and that there's guns right across the street, and I don't want any guns. That's not okay.
You can't believe everything he says. I'm not violent. No. I'm not at all. I mean, I worked for the government. I've had a secret transfer, just so officers. And he was in prison and all this stuff. I never had it. I had one fight and nothing.
Prison's scary. I was there charged with crimes that didn't happen. They had to release me, but that's the thing about Nebraska. A lot of people, they think I'm full of shit when I say I was sent to prison on misdemeanors and without a conviction, and they had to drop the charges. People look at me like I must be crazy. But if you look up Nebraska law, the county safe keep, you realize that, yeah, they can take away all of your rights as a human being just for telling on a bad cop. I'm still trying to show evidence. That's the thing, is that I'm here fleeing that abuse, trying to get help. You know, Lewis said that he'd help, but that's obviously he's not in a condition to do so.
No, you see his headaches.
And you were going to help, but I mean, with everything last night and everything today, I don't see how you're going to be able to.
Well, he has good intentions, but you know what? He didn't sleep. I don't think he slept.
He didn't?
I don't think so.
No, he said he didn't. And I know that, all right, when he woke me up right before he was laying out here and I seen him with you, the recording that I have, the recording I have is like 4.5 hours long, and 3 hours of it is me sleeping, but the rest of it is that situation last night. Like, I was so afraid. I damn near called the cops a couple of times. I mean, I wasn't sure what to do. I couldn't
Lewis?
carry him. Yeah.
Oh no, I can get him back. See, I get the cart.
Yep.
And he can get up, but he is.
It's a matter of getting him motivated.
And I hope it's not Lou Gehrig's. Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
I think it's from his head. I don't know, but we need to be in a place, you know. And I have to get to work to pay for it because my check's $548 a month.
Mine was $800, but I don't get that money anymore. I need someone to go through that with me, same as he needs somebody to go through it. All the government agencies I was sent to, they wanted me to do it by myself. No matter how much I explained to them, I can't do it by myself. I'm being victimized out here. How am I supposed to function with people like that guy yesterday, for example? That'll freeze me up for days. I can't function through that.
See, you just have to relax and stuff. I don't know. I get upset, but I'm just stronger now because I've been through so much shit, you know. And,
well, with me, I still need to be heard.
He was nice to us. He spoke to us.
People never heard me until I screamed at the top of my lungs.
Oh, you hate to be like that.
I shouldn't have to be like that, but see, here's the thing. When my friends and loved ones are being killed, I'm not going to continue being nice and talking quiet and
No.
begging for help. I'm going to fucking scream at the top of my
I'm just
lungs.
getting flies out. I'm not gonna
You're good. I know.
I can't believe it because this is no life.
I agree. I don't hold any animosity towards Lewis for any of this. I
Oh, good.
understand he's drunk,
I'm
you
glad
know.
you're caring because he really is a good person. And he is an alcoholic. And that does help his head for some reason.
Well, we talked about that this morning too. You know, he was pretty free about that, even though he knew he was being recorded. He was pretty liberal with his words.
Yeah, he was pretty wasted.
Yes, he was.
But
You told him to slow down.
well, he got a beer last night, and it was supposed to be for last night and this morning. So he had some in there, but he did get a beer this morning, which is still out there. But if he drinks it fast, I'm a nag at it. I hate him, and he is cutting back, but he is in a lot of pain, and so it just kills me because I remember how he was, and we had so much fun, and we walked 12 miles to Port Angeles, and now it took 3 hours to get him safely here. And he was like this. Somebody gave him. He was drinking, but then they gave him some strong pot, and he can have 2 puffs. But the guy gave him like 4 or 6 puffs, so he was down. I said, "See what you did."
I'm in an insane amount of pain. He gave me some pot last night, and I didn't want to take it because I'm not going to smoke any pot anybody else gives me here. I can't.
Oh yeah, you
There's
don't know
too
what's in it.
exactly, and that's nothing personal against him.
No, I don't know who gave it to him, but
I do have pot that I can smoke if, you know, because when it comes to the homeless community, they don't trust anybody who's squeaky clean.
yeah, you don't know.
So I smoke pot so that I can still talk to the homeless community and not get entirely shunned. But I don't need pot other than that.
He does. He does a little for his pains. He has so many pains. He doesn't tell me all of them. But when he says he doesn't feel me, he doesn't feel me.
Well, that's the thing I keep trying to get people to understand about me, but they don't see my disabilities, so they just pretend that they don't exist. And I am in an incredible amount of pain just from trying to help get him up last night.
Oh, right. But I did it. And
You did.
I have neck injuries too. But I'm kind of determined. I can't leave him out there playing in the street. He's going to
Exactly. Exactly. And that's like when I was over here with him next to the vehicle, when you came over here to try to get a few minutes respite, I stood there with him, even when after his trousers were dropped down beyond his backside.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, yeah. So when I was trying to come over and let you know, he fell down again. And I
Was
was
that
like,
when after he went way down there and came back?
no,
Okay.
it was after he fell down here, and then you was helping him to get into his vehicle, but he wasn't going in, so
Yeah,
you came back
He
here.
wanted to go over on the grass and have a smoke after he did all that lifting. He just doesn't realize, that you can't do it and I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to because who else is going to do it? The last time
Yeah,
had
they
5
they
nights.
yell at me for not doing what the doctor said, but how am I gonna even be able to do what the doctor says? I gotta move all that stuff. I gotta travel all over. They say, oh, well, these are free services. I'm like, not from where I'm sitting. I just spent $600 to get absolutely nothing. $600 in gas, $600 in insurance, 600 and whatever. It all equals out to literally all of my disability money every month. And now my disability is gone because I have no address and no assistance. Care is piss poor. Unless somebody goes in there with me, it doesn't matter if I can use their address. What matters is whether or not I have someone to help me to fill out the paperwork. Because if I go in alone, like you were saying yesterday, that you don't understand about the being by yourself. Because like with him, bailing him out and helping him out, I didn't have people like that.
Yeah,
when you
he
go
would
in
have been
alone,
killed.
it's
He would have
differently.
been killed up there. And I mean, my girlfriend, I borrowed money from her, and she got him out, and I didn't know he was scared to death, and they would have killed him.
My friends didn't care. I had to beg them to give a shit. I had to offer them exorbitant amounts of money that I didn't have for them to help me. I know it's not a friend, but at the same time, I don't have a choice. I don't have somebody in my corner. No, they
Paid 'em
didn't. They bullshit me and they fucking wasted my time and they looked the other way while I've been abused now for 6 years and it's ongoing. I get that they're not friends. I understand that. That's why I recorded them and I put it up on YouTube. These people knew that I was telling the truth. They know to this day that I'm being victimized over this. They never once tried to come forward.
Which is this one? Is this Natalie?
Everything for the last 6 years has been over the Natalie situation. They called me mentally ill, and now police are trying to cover up their crimes, and the Bollingers want to cover up their crimes. And these YouTube things keep making me a target. They won't show the actual evidence, and nobody gives a shit. It's always everybody taking care of the alcoholics and the meth addicts.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're
Because they're more needy than we are, apparently. But when I'm being abused by that guy over there and I'm being told I just need to let it go, I just need to not worry about it, I just need to forget about it, or oh, he does that to everybody, that's not fucking okay. If there's somebody who runs around grabbing everybody's balls and you say, oh, it's okay, he does that to everybody, no, it's not okay to grab my balls. Just like it's not okay to shove a carrot up my ass, just like it's not okay to put your hand down my pants while I'm sleeping.
somebody do that to you?
Yes, I broke her wrist on accident.
Her?
I was sleeping, yeah. It was a woman. It was her first time being homeless. She was really young. She was afraid of everybody.
Oh, that's terrible. See,
Yeah.
you gotta be careful.
All I was trying to do was get away from whatever it was that was running around in my trousers. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. I was sound asleep.
I haven't heard of that one, I'll tell you. But I mean, so many people have been robbed, I was at church for lunch and I came out and my car was stolen. And I pushed my cats out. They threw my cats out in Elma. The cats, they were frightened. They were split. So when I went up there, I had to buy another car. The cats knew that car and the sound. They didn't know. And I'm out there calling them. Well, they freaked. So I lost them. The car is easily replaced. Animals to me are like children. No, I do. I mean,
Well, that's the thing about my stuff.
So I don't have that family.
I've given up my stuff repeatedly for the preservation of human life, and I have gone to jail. I've even been to prison for protecting children who are being abused. Robert Franklin Mornick ain't a joke. He went to prison for molesting a child. That's not a joke.
No, it's terrible. It affects their lives forever.
Well, for me having to go through all this abuse, and I get to hear about how poor Johnny Depp's reputation, I'm like, he's not going through this. You know, Johnny Depp could go through all of everything that I've been accused of. He would still walk out of it just fine. He would not have to fight for a meal.
His girlfriend.
And I'm stuck.
She's getting charged.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I was on his side before I watched his conduct and the conduct of others. No, it wasn't a matter of right and wrong in that. It was a matter of Johnny Depp is a fucking prince to our society, and we have to cover his shit. That was uncalled a prince.
Oh, this is kind of goofy to me. I don't know everything that happened, but he appears.
They were definitely both predatory in that relationship.
Yeah, they both. Yeah.
And obviously the stuff that Disney was making it so that he couldn't be in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies because of these accusations. Well, listen to the stuff that they admitted to in court. I mean, a jar of cocaine on their fucking table. Who does that? And apparently there's no big thing. They can be on drugs and alcohol. I get accused of being on drugs and alcohol as an excuse to ignore me. But they get to bring all that stuff in court. They actually get to show actual evidence in court. They're not prevented from going to court. They have money for actual lawyers.
I have flies.
What we got is our asses kicked.
Yeah, that's. I just. He kind of won. Johnny Depp won against her.
Yep. Well, I saw.
Gee,
That was a fucking show trial, and that's it. There was no decency to any of that. They didn't follow the law through any of it. It's screwed up.
Was that in the United States or was that?
Yeah. But a lot of the recordings came from all over the world. Australia, Spain. And I'm told that I'm not even allowed to show evidence that happened in the same county or the same city. I'm prevented from even going to my court dates. They call me mentally ill, and that's it. They pretend that my evidence doesn't exist, and that's it. That's why I need someone to look and someone to go in with me. And people who have someone else with them want to recommend that I go to services, that the first triage that they have there is, do you walk in alone? If you walk in alone, it means nobody cares. If nobody cares, it's a waste of their time and they're not going to look at anything. They'll go through the motions because they have to. If they don't go through the motions, they get in trouble. But they don't go through all the motions. They play stupid. And they waste our time playing stupid. And they spend a lot of money playing stupid. And then when they get busted playing stupid, they spend a lot more money and a lot more resources trying to hide the fact that they broke the law. For me being alone out here, I just have
You're
to
not
take
really
it.
alone now. You have us.
Well, I have to have someone help me to turn this stuff in, and it's an
Yeah.
emergency. I can't go in with him. There's no way in hell.
Oh, he kind of goes. Well, it's his head. He becomes another person. Did you see it?
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
go if I was to ask him to go in with me now because it is an emergency, he's not going to be of any use.
No, he kind of well.
And
It's more than the drinking. He really does. And if he loses his temper, you wait there like 10 minutes, then he's like different. And usually if he's tired, it's about 6 o'clock. He yells and says some weird things to me.
well, I need to get these places to listen to me. If I go in person with him, they'll be able to smell the alcohol.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know him. I see him. You look at his eyes, and then he talks. That talk is different. That's more than drinks. That's in his head. It is the damage.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's definitely a contributing factor. And I think it's both of them. I think both of them, one accents the other.
Yeah. But he doesn't even know. He said his thinking isn't straight, which it's not.
Well, my thinking is not straight. That's because there's too much going on. There's way too much going on. And it's not a matter of not thinking right. It's a matter of there's too much to try to remember and no help. And all of my resources are being taken away because nobody will speak up for me. I'm disabled. Nobody will actually speak up for me. All these people who got Facebook and YouTube, and when it comes to a famous person, they'll post up all about that. But when it comes to a person that they know in real life who's still being abused, they can't. Nothing. They'll ignore me for literally years. The most cruel punishment that they could do. Not one of my goddamn friends ever bothered to care enough to look. Not even when I paid them.
Is that sick?
It is. I lost $1,800 to my sister playing head games because she's apparently addicted to methamphetamines. $1,800 to get help from her and one of her friends. He destroyed a whole computer worth of evidence. My little sister wanted to play victim and then hide after that. Well, you know what? If she's going to tell me they threatened her and my niece and I speak out about it, she needs to speak out about it. If people threaten to kill your family, would you try to turn it in or would you ignore it?
I turn it in.
Well, that's the thing, is that I don't believe any of these people who claim that their families were threatened. I believe that they were playing head games with me, with the exception of the ones that showed proof. My little sister got too much out of that, and as soon as she got what she wanted, she dipped out. Her and the guy that she's probably getting the meth from, like, every time that she got what she wanted, it was time to ditch me to go hang out with Ed.
Well, yeah, because that's druggies. They'll do anything to get that.
Well, that's the problem with Natalie, is that she was a heroin addict. I said what her dad did, and obviously that email shows that, yeah, in her own words, her dad did do those things. And I also said that she was on heroin, and absolutely, her own autopsy report shows she was on heroin. She accused me of slandering her name after I'd gone through over a year of abuse because she slandered mine, and so did her sister, and so did their friend Maddie Boa. People said just get away from them. Like, hey, I drove 1,700 miles to get away from Natalie because I know what heroin and meth do to people, and alcohol as well, and she's a hardcore addict.
That's too bad because she was young.
She was, but
She was 19
19.
and was killed.
Yeah, Joseph Michael Lopez blew her head off. This morning I had people making fake profiles with my name and fake profiles with Joseph Michael Lopez's name They do this on the internet. They do it in real life. I mean, the cops won't do shit without someone going in with me, and it's always situations like this one here with you don't have any bad intentions and he doesn't have bad intentions, but we're basically babysitters now.
For him.
Yeah.
How do you think I feel? His mom thanked me for taking care of him.
I had to babysit my friend Rihanna. She was 30 years old and an alcoholic, and I had to protect two little girls from her that they weren't even her kids. And she just kept on hitting them, and I tried calling anonymously with other people's phones. It didn't work. Finally, I had to break the law. I tried calling with my actual phone before breaking the law. That didn't work. It was literally break the law to get those girls safe, or something bad was going to happen to them. We were in a RV park in Rawlins, Wyoming. This isn't a mobile home park. This is people who are going in and out every day. This is travelers who could abduct those girls at any point in time and drive off. And with her being too drunk to do anything, I absolutely did, and I went to jail for it. I did what I had to. I couldn't get the cops to listen, so I made a fucking mess.
What'd you do? What'd you tell me what you did?
I threw a coffee on the ground, and I took the trash bags out of the trash cans outside, and I set them on the ground next to the trash cans.
And they sent you to jail for that?
Oh, they certainly did.
Oh my Lord. You're just trying to get attention so
They
get those girls out of there.
They even charged me with a crime that I didn't commit, claimed that I destroyed property, and I had to plead guilty to that crime, knowing that it was bullshit because the police there had committed crimes against me and abused the living shit out of me and knowingly and willingly assisted child molesters and sexual predators and abusers get away. They stole my evidence intentionally, and I literally had to plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit in order to get my evidence back. And they put me through hell after that. I mean, I literally could not do it myself.
You saved their lives.
I don't know about their lives, but it's a possibility. It's kind of like last night. Last night, I didn't save his life. He wasn't going to die last night, but I did help him.
It could. There's big trucks going by.
Yep.
He's dressed dark. They couldn't see him until they're right on him.
Yep.
He was in the road. So.
Well, you notice, as soon as I come around the corner with my lights on, he got up, and then I kept the lights on so people could see.
Thank you. Thank you for being kind. I needed the help. You could tell, but nobody.
Well, I was even talking on my channel. I was like, all right, I'm going to start up my car and I'm going to warm it up. And because it's going to take at least an hour to get him back to the vehicle. It took 45 minutes to get him to get into the vehicle almost earlier. So I was hoping to let you be able to warm up.
It's like, well, not with it.
Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, the weekend, they're not going to do shit. As far as the places that you got to go today, I can write down my phone number for you if you want somebody to go in with you. I definitely need to go to those places myself, but I can't go alone.
Care?
Yeah, any of those places. I'm a male and I'm alone. They won't help me. They'll procrastinate and blow me off and tell me it's not their job.
You're kidding. They're pretty nice to us.
Nice, yeah, but not helpful. It's just me. That's the thing. When you said us, that's the key word there, us.
And I, because
it's two of you. There's two of you.
We have different vehicles, which...
It's their triage. If somebody goes in alone, they're not as important because nobody cares. That reduces their chances of being able to help. It reduces their chances of being heard.
I never knew that. I didn't.
Well, for housing in Chapel, Nebraska, they refused to give housing to a single white male under the age of 25 with no dependents. So I had to wait until I was almost 30 to even try applying before they would actually possibly consider it. But they weren't going to consider it because I'm still a male. I had to get paperwork on my disabilities. My family wasn't assisting me with that. They kept making me do it by myself. Nobody understands what it's like doing it by yourself because everybody out there's got somebody that actually helps them.
Well,
I got alcoholics. I got drug addicts. That's it.
I do too.
Yes, ma'am.
Helps, but when he lifts stuff and does stuff when he's not supposed to. He has. He worked for Richard and he was lifting and he fell with neck injuries. We got crunched. I did too. I got crunched a little, and mine's just minor. I'm not supposed to lift, but I pick him up. I used to put him up. He used to drink it in Everett. And I pick him up. We had an RV and I put him up above. The bed was up there. We did some crazy stuff then.
I feel lucky I'm able to walk today after that.
Me too. I'm sorry. And you even saw it. I thought.
I
I mean, he
did.
was so happy because he had you to visit with, and he really likes to be asked to talk to people. He loves it. You
Yup.
know? And I mean,
And it gets on that one track of speaking, and best thing I can do is let him follow through his course because he's gonna say it anyway.
yeah, because you haven't heard it all before. I've heard it. But he was abused as a kid. He used to witness his. I don't know if you know.
He did.
His
He
dad,
told me.
his stepdad beat and raped his mother. He was like 8 years old. And he did that. And they got a gun, tried to shoot him, but his mom did shoot the guy, and she finally got away from him. But he was still raping him and his own son.
They pretend that males can't be victims.
Oh yeah, he is, and he still remembers it, but he doesn't bring it up as much. His mom is remarried; she doesn't bring it up at all. But Lewis, as a kid, that really affects him.
Well, it affects me still to this day, but the problem is I get treated like I'm a predator because I got a dick.
Because what?
Because I got a dick,
Oh,
a phallus, a male part, a penis. I has a
I
penis.
didn't tell you.
All right, that's a much better word.
Well,
I'll
I
accept
mean-
that one.
I don't know. I mean, I and my family never were around this stuff. Never. You know, when I was in high school, I was like 16. I walked down to my girlfriend's. This was a long time ago. Some guy stopped and asked me for directions somewhere, and he didn't have any pants on. And in my home, if I had to go to the bathroom, my dad in the bathtub, he covered himself. I never saw anything from him. So that scared me because nowadays, the kids are taught to stand back in the car and everything, you know. But I'm lucky he didn't grab me. I am lucky because that scared me.
Well, that guy who was claiming that barista girl was his daughter, the one that was at the feed yesterday, who was harassing me right before it over at the skate park.
You mean the one in the white car?
Yeah, the one with the blue shirt.
Yeah, he's an ass.
He is, but the other thing is I'm worried about that girl because he's been yelling at about her and harassing me about her. I haven't seen her, heard no hide nor hair of her. Where I usually see her is over at the skate park. I haven't seen her.
I never saw her before.
Like he's not the lady that was with him. The girl that he's saying is his daughter. You've
another
gotten
one.
that confused like 4 times. That's why I keep
Okay.
trying to specify.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. You mentioned that.
It's another girl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because the way he acts, he's like a predator.
He is a predator.
Yeah,
Not like a predator. He's trying to get people hurt or killed
but
by making the accusations that he's
he
making.
gets real loud when the cops came up there, up to the church a couple times, and they don't take him away. It's weird. Because maybe they think he's doing drugs or whatever.
He is doing drugs, but it's not just the drugs. Sure, it's legal to do the drugs here, but they're still doing drug busts. There's also the fact that it's not just doing drugs. I mean, that video that Lewis, when I was trying to play it for you yesterday, Lewis wasn't able to watch the whole thing, so he didn't ever finish it, but he threatens me in that video. Well, not really, not without somebody going in with me, because they're just going to pretend like it's a civil thing, as always, if I go in by myself.
Well, it's goofy because, the pawn shop down here, they had, it was broken into.
I didn't know you guys had pawn shops here.
There's one, and it's across the bridge, and just down like a block or so past Burdens, or, where there's trucks up. And he hired this young guy to help him. So guess what? When they paid for their stuff, the guy put the money in his pocket, not the tip. So one night, he got a couple of friends, and they cut a hole in the floor underneath. They got it in a huge, just like $60,000. he was.
They keep pulling this whole defunded thing, but Chapel, Nebraska, this is a town of 500 people. They spent over $100,000 to have me incarcerated, so I couldn't turn in the sheriff or his deputies or his receptionist or registered Nebraska sex offender Robert Franklin Warnick.
So
This is all in connection with the Natalie Bollinger death and the way that I've been treated before and after. Of course, I spent time for a lot of shit I didn't do, but they always have to drop the charges because I'm never guilty.
Yeah, but you're in there, and then
unless they hold evidence.
Behavior in prison and jail.
I don't even want to go over that right now, but yeah, I was.
Because Lewis told me, and
those guards are horrible.
Oh yeah, they have tried to kill him up in Everett. I don't know what to do about that. We're down here now. If they tried to do it to him, they have gotten away with it with other people. So
Well, that's the thing is I've got evidence of this stuff happening, but without someone looking at it and helping me to turn it in actually with me. Everybody that tells me they'll go in with me, they eventually, after wasting 6 months of my time, tell me, well, can't you do it by yourself? No, I'm not allowed. I'm called mentally ill. No matter how many times I tell them that, they ignore it. No matter how many times I tell them I am physically disabled, I cannot do what you're asking me to do, they still want to make the suggestion.
And all this stuff you've been through is bound to have effects on it.
But there's also the fact that people pretend that I'm schizophrenic and making it up, especially my predators in law enforcement. They don't ever look at evidence. My evidence has never been allowed in court because although this has happened with Lewis, the situation with the guy last night that he was doing, the stuff that guy had also done at the church, these are all things that are absolutely true. These are things that show that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
But without somebody going in with me, I continue to get treated like I'm schizophrenic and delusional until everything is gone. Then of course, they say, oh, well, you should be able to do all of this stuff by yourself because you're cognitive. No. I am illegally prevented from doing so because I am homeless and a male, and that is as simple as it gets. So when I try to turn in my predators in law enforcement for ignoring all of the other crimes against me and for doing so sexually or maliciously and because of my gender, like I'm having to deal with gender bias in the worst kind of way, but then people will talk to me like they're talking to the peanut gallery, but again, they never speak out. So now I have to find somebody that is willing to look at evidence and help me turn it in and show that there's no possible way anybody could defend themselves against this. And there is no possible way that without help that this abuse is ever going to stop.
Well, yeah, it should stop. Enough is enough, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, he gets crazy. He says stuff just to get my goat. And then what I do is I ignore it, and then he drops it or else.
It doesn't work that way in this situation. I already tried that.
Different things.
Yeah.
He was sick. He has been sick every week for the last 5 or 6 weeks. He sleeps all day. He'll go to bed, and he drinks a lot. And the next day he'll stay in bed. And I go and check on him. I make sure he's breathing. Because, what he says to me is he wants to die. And so I check on him. He wants fluids. And I let him chill. He needs to sleep as much as possible. But his body, his legs, everything's getting worse. It's scary.
I'm jonesing for a cigarette pretty bad, and I'm thirsty as all hell.
You are?
Yeah. I think I got half a coffee left in my vehicle steer. What? Sure. I'm still gonna go find a tobacco though.
Yeah, wait. What do you do with this tobacco?
I'm not sure. Oh, half smoked tobaccos?
Yeah. Do you have a paper?
I do.
Just take a couple.
All right.
And you can make, because I'm gonna get some tobacco today.
All right. I tried to provide him with cigarettes all night and all morning. That's $500 more than I got to live on, and it ain't
they
shit.
They took it away because I don't know why. Somebody lied or something. When people have given us cans, that's beer money and paper money and tobacco. But he's not able to make money right now.
Neither am I. That's the thing about me trying to get help. A lot of people say they help, and I end up being the one helping.
Okay, at the church, at this church, Not today. Wait.
I need to turn in the crimes against me, and I need to get protected because of the abuse I'm enduring. I do.
And our church with Beamus today.
Which one is that? The
one where the goofball parks. The next block.
St. Adventist Church? Or the First Christian?
Right
Yeah.
here. That's Tuesday and Thursday at 4. But that's inside now. But I don't know if I'm letting him see. You look at his eyes and he has a blue around it. He can't see at night. At least he's not trying to drive at night. Somebody.
Amen. That.
Okay, that gal, Melissa. I don't really gossip, but the guy she was with, we met him at the West area. Did you see him?
What guy at the rest area?
Well, at the meal the other day, and Melissa sat at our table. You sat with us too, and she brought him with the darker hair. Okay, she was engaged to Terry. Do you know Terry?
No, I'm not familiar. I gotta go roll this, but I'll be right back.
Okay. You come in.
Make sure he's okay.
No, he's okay. I think he's standing.
All right.
He went. But I put the blanket out. Didn't give his dog any water. But got him out. So
yeah, he peed twice on my tire. I know he does.
He really is a good dog.
Dogs and kids love me. I don't know why.
They do. Me too.
All right, rolling papers. You guys tell us not to take care of them. You just want them all to die. You want them to just fall off the face of the planet. You want them to march out into the sea. Just the homeless ones, though. All these places I go to, and I'm told, talk to this person, talk to that person. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. The help I need is someone in person to look at my evidence and help me to turn it in, to verify that it exists. These aren't schizophrenic delusions. But how am I supposed to do that when everybody I have to go to is on drugs or alcohol or doesn't care? Mandated reporters don't care, and people on drugs and alcohol are not useful. Not in that degree, anyway. People seem to think if they give me a temporary band-aid that it's magically going to fix everything, and I should be happy all the time. I have to be happy no matter what abuse I go through, because you gave me $50 6 months ago, right? I'm glad for the $50. What I needed was you to come forward and tell the truth. I needed you to be honest. People ignored me until I had mental breakdowns, and then they victimized me for having mental breakdowns and used those mental breakdowns as their excuse for fucking lying to begin with. God bless America, gay men. Someone calling themselves Cincy Chris Hammer typed hello. I guess that was about 40 minutes ago, according to my phone. It's afternoon, and again, I need help. And I get promises of help and get those pretty words, and I end up being the one helping. Just like at Rihanna's, just like at Amy Spencer's. Just like at Tabitha Michelle Cook's. Just like at my grandmother's funeral. Just like at my sister's, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. When Mom was threatening not to help Tara, it was at that point, Tara's going through hell. My mom is spending a lot of money to help out 2 child molesters, Michael Allen Albert and Andrew Witcher. People like to threaten, harass, intimidate, and bully me into doing things that I'm not okay with doing, but I can't go to the cops. They don't give a shit. Can't go to my family. They won't help me turn it in. Can't go to Megan Missigatis. She'll lie to me and then lie about the situation. Because of her involvement with me getting bribed to make an illegal firearm, she's looking at felony time. She's looking at prison time. A lot of people have offered me firearms, told me that they would kill my predators for me, plenty of things like that. That's not what I want. I need your help turning these people in. I'm being abused. Killing these people is not going to stop the abuse. It's only going to make me a further target. It's only going to make my family further targets. So you guys need to stop making that suggestion. You guys pretend that I'm the sick son of a bitch. No, Sarah Bacon's the sick son of a bitch. The people who threatened to kill her family are the sick son of a bitches. Carl Rogers and Layla Johnson, a.k.a. Missy Johnson, and Kara Johnson Miles. These are predatory people who committed predatory action. It should have been monitored. There should have been someone there to help me with this who actually cared. But they didn't care. They wanted to bullshit me and give me empty promises. Now here's the question. You guys who want to hate on me saying, oh, they offered to do this and they offered to do that. Did they follow through? Ever? Out of the thousands of crimes committed against me, how many teeth did I have to pull from fucking witnesses to get them to speak up? Oh yeah, they never did. I had to record conversations with them and post them on my YouTube. I'm showing you the dynamics which prevent me from being able to defend myself. These officers are showing you very loud and clearly how it is that a disabled homeless male is blown off over and over and over again. You tell us to go to churches. It doesn't matter if a man is threatening harm against me right outside the church door. They're not going to do a goddamn thing. And that's at First Christian Church. Yes, if I go to First Christian Church, it'll fix all my problems, won't it? No matter how many times you explain to somebody that going in yourself, especially as a single white male, especially as a homeless and disabled white male, you don't have any goddamn rights. You're told to get to the back of the bus. Males in general are told to go to the back of the bus. Homeless people in general are told to go to the back of the bus. We're told that we don't count, that we don't matter, that we're all a bunch of drug addicts, we're all a bunch of alcoholics. And if you do something wrong to us, you play on that narrative, just like you play on the mentally ill narrative, the we must be child molesters and rapist narrative, the we all must be thieves narrative, the we can't take no for an answer narrative. My loved ones are dead because you chose to look away. My loved ones are dead because the law does not work. My friends are dead because mandated reporters help to cover for the crimes of other mandated reporters. Police officers cover up the crimes of other police officers. And unless somebody cares, they get away with it. Kayla Trujillo pretended to care. That was her fault. The fact that she was involved with so much and knew so much all stems from the fact that she pretended to care. If she really cared, she would have gone in with me to turn these things in, as she said she would, instead of procrastinating for months and then making excuses. People are dead, and it is Kayla Trujillo's fault. People are dead, and it is Raj's fault. People are dead, and it is Case Leighton Morris's fault. People are dead, and it is Officer Michael West's fault. People are dead, and it is Dr. David West's fault. People are dead, and it is Scott DaCosta's fault. People are dead, and it is Eric Christopher Schwartz's fault. People are dead, and it is Mariah Johnson's fault. People are dead, and it is Shannon Alvarado's fault. People are dead, and it is Dan Fabert's fault. People are dead, and it is Sage Wayward Rage's fault, a.k.a. Ian Etter. People are dead. People who would otherwise be alive if I had been heard are dead. And these are the people, just a small portion of them, who did horrible things because they didn't really care. Hiding their involvement and their shame was more important than telling the truth. A lot of people are dead. And they're dead because you didn't care to listen. You didn't care to speak up. What you cared about doing was victimizing the victim, telling the victim what to do. Goddamn velociraptors. Obviously that's a belch, and I don't actually think I'm a velociraptor, or that there is an actual velociraptor anywhere near me. What I do know is that there is a reason why I am for assisted suicide. There's the help that we need. The help that you guys keep telling us that all these services provide. And then there's the hell that they put us through. I get to hear from other people who got help. I also get to see the difference between them getting help and me getting help. I get to see that they've got someone else with them, and no matter what, even after acknowledging that, people still want to tell me to go in by myself, by myself, by myself. 6 years of abuse. Almost 7 years. My birthday is on the 18th of October. My evidence is disappearing, and I have no option left but suicide. My dad's not going to care until I'm dead. My mom's not going to care until I'm dead. But they'll both be relieved because it'll mean they got away with their crimes. And that's what they want. My older brother's not going to give a shit till I'm dead. My little sister's not going to give a shit until I'm dead. My only option for stopping this abuse without someone actually giving a shit is suicide. Doesn't matter how good a person I am when I gotta go to crooked cops, alcoholics, or my own goddamn predators for help. When I am forced to go to my predators in law enforcement about my other predators, it's not okay. Meanwhile, these officers only got to be predatory because it was just me who went in. Despite everybody's false promises. Jumping through these hoops, these expensive hoops that you say are free, it's not free. Meanwhile, in the time that it takes you guys to even get started on getting help for me, I've already been victimized to the point that I have to be moving on. I have to be afraid in that town of both police and the general public. And these guys always get away with it. Always. You pretend like I didn't try to get help. You pretend like I didn't try to stop all of the abuse. You refuse to take a look at the actual evidence. You make empty promises until all my resources are gone, and then you're gone. This is why assisted suicide should be legal. You pretend like I can do it myself, like I'm allowed, and I'm not. And all these people showing that the alcoholics and the meth addicts and the people making their lives hell, those are the people who matter. Only my predators matter. I don't. For most of you, only your predators matter. You want love and acceptance from the people who are predatory towards you. I am for assisted termination of life, especially for people deemed mentally ill, as that terminology serves its purpose well. It prevents the victim from being heard, and it helps the predator to get away.